girls. Good morning. Okay, I have a story for you today, but before I start telling the story, I would like you to smell. There are a few little holes in the top here. I would like you to smell and tell me what you think is inside. And once you've had a turn, if you pass it on quickly so that everybody can have a go. What do you think is inside? Have a little smell and then tell me what you think is inside the pot. Any ideas? You think it's ginger. Oh, you don't like the smell, do you? No, it's a bad smell. What is it called? What? Spring onions, ginger. What do you think this one is? Is this one a bad smell? No? Come on then, pass it along. See if somebody can tell me what they think it might be. Smells like onions. Avocado? Avocado? I don't know. Banana. This one smells like banana. Should we swap them over? Here we are. Does that smell like banana? Yuck. Onion? Shall I? Well, I have to say that nobody's actually got the right answer for this one. It's not actually onion. It's not actually ginger. It's garlic. Now, this one's garlic, and that one is banana. That's what I think you can smell. Now, if I tell you that there are two things in each of these cups, can you tell me what the other thing is? We'll come back to that at the end of the story. Okay, so in each cup there are actually two things, and in one cup you can smell garlic because the garlic is quite strong. In the other cup, you can smell the banana because probably the banana is the stronger of the two smells. So the story today is about two young boys. They were called Pete and Sandy. And Sandy was a young boy who wanted a job. He needed to earn some money. And he had a friend called Pete, and his friend Pete went out and he was working at a peach farm. So this is a place where they pick peaches, they put them in boxes, and then they go and they're sold in the market. And Pete managed to get a job for Sandy, and Sandy was very happy because he wanted to earn some money. But Sandy's mother was not quite as happy as Sandy himself was, because Sandy's mother was a little bit worried about Pete. It was kind of him to get you a job, but I'm not sure if he's a really good person to be friends with. And his mother was a little bit worried. And Sandy would talk to his mother and, Mother, I need the job, and, it's good that I can work. And one day, Sandy's mother said to him, Sandy, I shouldn't be worried about you going to the peach farm with Pete because, I am praying that you will flavor Pete. Huh? How am I going to flavor Pete? What does that mean? So his mother tried to explain, well, if you put an onion in the fridge, maybe even if you leave a banana, if you put something in the fridge and if you forget to put a lid on it, the smell from that thing goes into all the other things. And so this is what Sandy's mother was thinking, that maybe if she prayed, maybe God would be able to use Sandy to influence Pete for good. So every morning, Pete would come and they would go off in the car and they would go to the farm and they would pick their peaches. And on this particular day, he came and they went off, and Sandy was thinking, how can I flavour Pete? What can I do? What can I say? And they went to the farm and they were working in different areas. They were picking the peaches and doing what they were supposed to be doing. And then Sandy noticed that, well, actually, Pete was picking a few peaches and then he was, having a game or playing. And then he was picking a few more peaches and, maybe I should say something. But he didn't know what to say. And then they were doing their own things and they were working. And then the next time he saw Pete, he noticed that Pete was putting some of the not-so-nice peaches into a box. And he was taking them to the driver and he was selling them to the driver. And then the money that he was collecting, he was putting into his own pocket. They're not his peaches. He's not supposed to be selling them. In fact, he'd been told that he was not allowed to sell any of the peaches, even the peaches that were not the best ones. He was selling the seconds. So, these are the ones that have fallen on the ground. But they had been told that they were not allowed to sell even the seconds. So now Sandy was really worried. What could he do? There was Pete selling these peaches that didn't belong to him and putting the money in his pocket. He was shaking like a leaf. He didn't know what to say. And he went up to Pete and he said, Pete, did I see you selling those peaches? You're not supposed to sell those peaches. And Pete was, well, yes, but we don't have very much money and I have to pay for my brothers and my sisters and it's not so bad because these peaches are fed to the pigs. It's okay, nobody will miss them. And I think the lady who owns the farm must have been listening because Mrs. Flood, she's the lady who owns the farm, she came out and she said, "You're Pete Burns, aren't you? I've told you, you are not allowed to sell the seconds. You're not allowed to sell those peaches. I want you to get your things, and I want you to go to the office, get your pay, and I want you to leave. Don't come back tomorrow. Don't come back ever again." And then she started to explain why. She said, well, the very, very worst of the peaches, some of them do get fed to the pigs. But she said lots and lots of the seconds, there are lots of peaches that go into a special place and we have lots of volunteers and they come in and they prepare the peaches, they cook them, they make jam, they make stews, and those peaches are given to orphanages, they're given to homeless people, they're given to the elderly, and they're all used. And if you take those peaches and if you sell them, then you're stealing from those people. Now Pete wasn't quite sure what to do. Should he be happy? Should he be happy that, he's got... Sandy wasn't sure what to do because he'd got Pete into trouble. And now Pete was going to lose his job. Was that a good thing? It's not really a good thing if he loses his job, but he did steal the peaches, and he's not supposed to steal the peaches. What do you think you would do if you were Sandy?
I'll just keep it a secret.
You'd keep it a secret. You'd let him leave and lose his job. Yes? What would you do?
I'll just steal some money.
You'd steal some money. Oh. Any other suggestions for what Sandy? What do you think Sandy should do?
I think he should just say that he just wanted to earn some money for his brothers and sisters.
Okay, so this is what he did. So Sandy stood up and he said, "But Mrs. Flood, I think you should give him a second chance. I think you should let him stay because his mother doesn't have enough money to live and he's earning money for his brothers and sisters and I'm trying to help him to be good. Do you think that you could give him a second chance and I will try to help him do what is right?" And then he was a bit worried that maybe he'd said more than he should do and that maybe Mrs. Flood would be cross with him too. And so he was just standing, waiting to see what would happen. And at this point, Pete started to realise that what he'd done was really, really wrong. And he took the money out of his pocket and he put the money on the table. He gave the money to Mrs. Flood and he said, I'm very sorry. I'm very sorry. I won't do it again. Please give me a second chance. And that's what she did. She said, okay, I want you to work with Sandy, and I'm going to ask Sandy to look after you, and I'm going to ask Sandy to encourage you to do what is right, and you can have a second chance. And I think then both Pete and Sandy were very happy. Now then, let's go back to our little pots. In fact, both of these pots have banana inside. So the one which smells of garlic has banana and garlic inside it. And the garlic is so strong that you can't smell the banana very easily. And the other pot has banana and yogurt inside it. And in this case, the yogurt doesn't have a very strong smell. And so when you smell it, you can smell the banana and not the yogurt. So our story today is about flavouring people. And so what I'd like you to think is that I would like you to think that if you want to flavour people for God, then you need to have God inside you. And the more that you have God inside you, the more that you will smell of God and the less that you will smell of yourself. Whatever that might smell like. Is there anybody who would like to read a text? I would like to finish by reading 2 Corinthians 5, verse 17. Is there anybody who would like to read it for us? Any volunteers? Yes. Would you like to, can you come forwards? Would you like to come down and read? This is 2 Corinthians 5 and verse 17. I'm afraid my Bible has very small letters, so I hope you can read it. Verse 17 here. Can you see therefore?
Therefore, if anyone is in Christ, he is a new creation. The old has gone, the new has come.
Thank you. Now, if anyone is in Christ, he is a new creation. When we put the garlic into the banana, we can't smell the banana anymore. So when we put Christ into us, people around us will see only Christ. So if you could remember that this week, that would be good.